Alright, so in this video, I'm just going to be talking over my setup in VS Code. So right now I've opened up a blank window in VS Code, and we can just close the getting started. So what you can notice is that, first of all, the file explorer is, I put it on the right side of the screen because it sort of mimics Visual Studio file explorer. And if we take a look at the extensions, I have a lot of them installed, and it might take a second to load. So my first extension is auto close tag, and basically what this does is in HTML, for example, if we make a new HTML file, and we start typing like HTML, and we close it, it will automatically close the HTML down, and we can and it's just really nice to not have to type out the rest of the HTML tag so that it automatically closes. Now I do have some issues with it. For example, if I'm using React and I have something in TypeScript. Now in TypeScript you might have something like let's say some like random thing and then we have a generic like that. Sometimes it will automatically create another tag, but I feel like it's better to have this extension and worry about that later. Now my second one is auto hotkey, and this is just for some key bindings. And one of the main ones I use is a key binding that changes the caps lock key to escape. And this is super useful because the escape key is pretty far from my hand and it's kind of hard to reach with my finger. So if I open up developer toggle screencast mode, I'm pressing caps lock right now, but it is registering as escape because, well, I binded it to escape. So now whenever I want to enter a normal mode in Vim, I can just type caps lock and it'll type out escape. And speaking of Vim, I have this plugin for VS Code called Vim, and what this does is it allows you to have Vim key bindings in Visual Studio Code. And this is super helpful when I'm trying to navigate files. It's that block cursor that you see that I sometimes have, and it's super nice to have. I have some C++ stuff and better comments. This is also a great extension for Visual Studio Code. What you can do is you can put symbols before comments, and it will automatically change the color of the comments to make them stand out. Bracket pair colorizer, this one's also a very popular one. It basically colorizes your brackets so that you can see which pairs of brackets match up. And this is helpful when you have a really long file and you want to see, oh, which bracket does this one match up to? Normally the default color is white, so this one just colorizes them. I have some more C and C++, C#, C++. Code spell checker, this one just checks the spelling in your code. Let's say I make a new file and I type something like, let's say I type something like hello world. Code spell checker will say that world is an unknown word, and that's helpful since sometimes you can spell stuff wrong and it'll create a huge bug in your code. It just basically spell checks your code. It's like Grammarly. Color highlight. This one I recently got. It's basically for CSS or some stuff where you have, let's say, colors in VS Code. So if I make a new file again, and I type in a color, like let's say hashtag FFFFFF, it'll color it white. And this is super useful since, well, I like having the color, I like being able to know what color it is. Let's say I type in like a random one, like that's not right. It'll just give me that color, so I can see what it is. Debugger for Java, some Java stuff. Discord Present is a pretty cool one. It gives you this little pop-up in Discord that tells you that you're playing on VS Code. It shows what file you're on. .env, this is just for the .env files. It has some coloring and syntax highlighting for it. I haven't used ESLint that much, but it's nice to have. It's again sort of like Grammarly, but for JavaScript and TypeScript in those projects. I have Gitlins. which is pretty useful, and this basically just makes it so I can see what happens in Git on every single file. HTML and CSS, Java, Java test funnel, JavaScript and TypeScript. This is mainly for TypeScript since I don't think JavaScript needs this, but you can use TypeScript at next with this. Jupyter for Python, Java, Live Server. This one is whenever you make a new HTML file, you can click on the Go Live button, and it'll basically just run the HTML file for you, and you can see it in the web page. And this is sort of like NodeMon in my previous tutorials, in that whenever you save, it will automatically update the website. Magic Python, Markdown Preview Enhanced. This one makes it so that if you have a Markdown file, you can right-click and you can see stuff in Markdown. So let's say I make a new Markdown file. Select the language, Markdown. And I type something like hello world. Hold on, it's still lagging. One second. Alright, it was lagging a little bit for there, so I had to wait a little bit. But if I type in hello world, and then I type in something like, hold on, can't spell. And I type in something like test, I can save this file and I can not save it. I can right click on it, I can see Markdown Preview Enhanced, Open Preview Decide. And you can see it has hello world and it has test. So it just allows me to see what a Markdown file looks like without having to use like an external browser or anything. Now Maven for Java, that's some more Java stuff. NPM, it has some NPM support in VSCode. One Monokai, this is a theme I'm using, and I think it looks really nice on VSCode. It has like this red and blue color scheme with a bit of green, and I like it especially for Python and for like TypeScript. Prettier, this one is super useful for JavaScript or TypeScript. If you're not using this, you should definitely try it out. Basically, it formats your code every single time you have it on save. So if you open up the settings, you can say save, and it says format on save mode, and it says format on save. So I have this checked, so every single time I save a file, you might have seen it in my previous videos, it will automatically format all my code and stuff. I have it set to tab width of 2, having semicolons, having double quotes, and it's just really useful, so I don't have to do that manually. Java, Pylance, Python extension pack. I am running this on the Windows subsystem for Linux, so I can use this to browse my Linux files, although I'm not using it right now since this icon is not there. But this allows me to browse files in WSL. I'm using Ubuntu too. And I have Vim again. IntelliCode, this one is also super useful. You can see that it has like the autocomplete and stuff, so you can just press enter and autocompletes the word. And the last one right here is VSCode icons. It's the little icons you'll see in the corner. So if you look in the GIF right here, you can see that it has all of these cool icons for VSCode, and it just makes it look really nice. And that's pretty much all for my extensions. I can take a look in settings.json. And you can see I have prettier VSCode enabled. I have some stuff for Python, so I'm using black for Python formatting, some C# and Java, C++ formatting ones. I'm using this font called Cascadia Code, and I think it looks really nice since it has such like font ligatures, editors.font ligatures set to true. And that's how you see when I do like arrow functions, it has that little like arrow instead of the equals and arrow. Or when I have 3 equal signs, it turns it into an equal sign with 3 lines instead of just plain and boring 3 equal signs. I have the expand cursor setting, which makes it look like that. Format on save. Oh, this one's also really nice. It organizes imports automatically. So it'll organize them by alphabetical order. I have some more stuff in here. You can take a look at it. I don't like the minimap that VSCode has, so I just disabled it. And have some more stuff in here. And window.title, this changes it to like the settings.json, and it has that thing right there. Whoops. I also excluded node modules and .meta. This is mainly for Unity for C Sharp, and this is node modules for JavaScript, since there's not really much to do in node modules. I have some stuff with spider comments to make it fit the one monarchize theme, and I have some Vim key bindings. This is really nice to bind undo to the actual undo in VS Code, and Control R to redo, so that way it shows you if the file is dirty or not. It's just better to have it where it's undo and redo what's the same as VS Code. I have the code speller, the spell checker. I excluded some languages from Emmet because I don't really use them in TypeScript, React, and stuff. And that's mainly all for my VS Code settings. So thanks for watching, I guess, and see you in the next video.